Hey guys, welcome back. This is Mark here from StretchWorks again. Today we're going to be going over foam rolling the lower body. So as I've said before in some of the other videos, this foam roller is a key component to something we call recovery. All right, I love it. It's a great tool. As you can see, this is just a smaller one. They come in different sizes, different textures. What I always recommend is always start with something that you're most comfortable with. So ones that have like the nodules and things like that, if you're a newer person to foam rolling or beginner, I highly wouldn't recommend going after something that aggressive. And so you can find kind of that there are other ones out there that are a little bit softer. So if you kind of haven't done this before and maybe you're in that mindset of, man, this stuff it hurts, it's a good thing that maybe that your foam roller is telling you something. And that is that it might be a little bit too tough for you. So go based on the intensity. They come anywhere from larger ones to smaller ones, to ones that have knobs, to ones that are kind of grooved, or others that are softer. So my recommendation would be is if you're new to this, make sure you start with a little bit of a softer one. So we're going to go ahead and get started and go through kind of a lower body series that you can do. And I like to do this as not only as a recovery aspect, but it's great for even warming up. So the difference between warming up and maybe cooling down is just kind of the intensity that you use and maybe the tempo. So when you're warming up, you're going to go a little bit quicker, not very quick, but just you're going to keep moving around the tissue to kind of break up some of those adhesions. Whereas if you're doing kind of more of a cool down setting, you're going to kind of go slower, let the heart rate come down, and kind of go over certain tissues that might feel, again, a little bit rough, and you might hold it there for a few seconds, letting kind of the tissue sink into kind of the foam roller. So this one today, we're going to be doing just a little bit of more recovery work because we're not about to go work out. So I did legs yesterday, so this is going to be perfect to kind of see all my wincing and uncomfortable position. But again, if this is something that is causing you pain, that's not a good thing, right? It should feel almost relief. So as much as I might be, making some funny faces, it's really actually, for me, it's very soothing. So it's not something that I'm actually in pain. It's more just, wow, that's a little tighter than I anticipated. So the first part that I like to start with is I like to start with more the posterior side. So because the glutes are probably in my body is one of the biggest muscles that I have, it's so important when it comes to power, explosion, and even just movement, right? And there's a reason why it's this big muscle that's attached to the hips, which is the hip is your major locomotor of your body. So we're going to start with the left glute here. So I'm just going to put it kind of almost perpendicular to me, and I'm going to go ahead and just sit on it. So if you want to warm up, sometimes if you don't want to get too aggressive and go ahead and get on, like, say, the left side, you can do kind of an easy just back and forth, warming it up a little bit, seeing kind of how your tissue is. Now it's going to go over a little bit your tailbone and your sit bone, but that's okay. Again, just go to where you feel comfortable. If you feel like you need less movement on there, again, use your hands as leverage. You can also do without. Again, where you feel comfortable, do you have the balance? So here I'm going over just a little bit of both. Now I'm going to go ahead and focus on the left side. And the way you can focus is just by shifting your body. So what I'll do is I can keep my knee either bent or you can keep it straight, whatever you like, and just rotate to the side. So this one's a little smaller, so I'm going to have to shift my hips, but the bigger ones you can just kind of rotate. And so now all I'm doing is I'm just leveraging my body, supporting myself through not only my foot, but also my hand here. So if you've got kind of weak wrists, this might be a little bit more of a problem. So if you don't have that flexion, you could just use your palm like that. Okay. And all I'm doing is I'm just slowly going over each side. So I'm rotating. So not only am I straight here, but as I groove, I'm just kind of searching and just going over the tissue a little bit. Just working through it, breaking up again some of those adhesions. I've had a lot of muscle recovery in the last 24 hours since doing my leg workout, and so my butt here is really sore. Right? If you really want to add more intensity there, I've got my right leg here supporting me. So I'm not actually putting all my body weight on it. I have this leg helping me take a little bit off. If you want to add almost more, say I'm not really feeling it, you can actually cross this right leg on top of it, and now you've added a lot more body weight. So now you only have your arm and your hand as well as your leg supporting you. Okay, so we would do that obviously to both sides. So again, starting with a little less. Again, you can put as much tension as you want into it. Again, going nice and slow. Just kind of feeling it. Now, if this is a warm-up, I might do something a little bit faster. But here I'm just kind of searching, just going over, cooling down nice and slow. Going all elements. So you go not only glute max, but you go all the way up to even like the glute med, glute min, all the way up there in that corner. Feels real good. And again, if you want to add that intensity, again, you can put that other leg up and just really get after it that way. So again, I like to start with the butt. You don't have to start with that. I just like it. Again, usually because it's the biggest part, you know, and such a powerful muscle. All right, so starting with that posterior side, we just got those glutes done a little bit. Now, it can, depending on where I feel, I might go a little bit more. My next one is I'm going to shoot down to my hamstrings. So I'm going to go sit on my butt. I'm going to actually have my legs straight, and you can warm up both. So again, lifting your hips and just rolling back and forth. Now, say you don't have that strength in the upper body to be able to support yourself, you can just kind of just inch yourself forward, keep your butt down if you need to, but it really helps if you can do both. So now, hips are up. I'm going all the way, again, right before the butt cheek, and all the way back down to the back of the knee. So not all the way on the back of the knee, I'm just going right before it. So right where in that, right before it starts. Good. Just like that. Now say I'm working on the left side, which I am, and I want to focus just on one, is I can again center it, use the right leg on the side, or if I'm on the right, you can see this is what the right leg looks like. So I'm using my left leg as support. I'm stretching that right. And what I'm doing is I'm rotating my foot. So I'm opening up my foot and rotating my leg, and I'm closing. So this one gets more of like your IT band towards the back of your hamstring, so more lateral. This gets more medial, so towards the adductor. So for me, the outside not as sensitive, but the inside, man. I did a lot of single leg stuff yesterday, and that medial side is really, really tight. So again, going up and down, supporting myself. If it's too much, again, you can keep your butt down and try to foam roll. Your knee is okay if it's okay if your knee is bent. So here's what that left side looks like. So here I am. I'm driving, just forward and back, and rotating in, rotating out. So getting the lateral part of the hamstring, and then medial, inside. So again, inside I told you is a little bit more tender, but I can handle it. So I'm not in pain. Good. So moving along down the line, now we're going to go to calves. Now calves, I always say be careful because most people aren't really stretching the calves, nor do they foam roll them. So there's certain areas of the body that people tend to avoid, especially when foam rolling or stretching. And calves are one of them. IT band's another one. Well, the reason why is because they're a little bit more painful. So if it's painful, as I said to you before, just take it easy. You don't have to necessarily, go all at once and jam your hand, or not your hand, but your other leg on top of it, like we'll show you in just a sec, and really get after it. You can just ease up on it, right? So don't put as much pressure down. Just kind of let it go nice and soft. So again, scooting your butt, and scooting my butt will help keep the pressure off. So you can see I'm pretty tight here. For me, maybe a softer one would work for me, but this is not so bad. Again, looking at, I'm flexing dorsiflexion-wise, and then also plantar. Plantar, you're going to feel a lot more. Whew. To isolate it, you can then go on one side and same deal. Back and forth. Now, just as I said, you can plantar flex, which is going to add a little bit more, so be careful. And then you can dorsiflex to take a little bit away. Both sides, same deal. Warming up, yeah, just like that. I'm just sliding back and forth. So not only can you add flexion, right, in both directions, so we call plantar flexion, pointing the toes, as well as dorsiflexion this way, but you can also add in rotation. So not just getting that back side of the calf, but now getting, again, more lateral or as much as medial. So if we go lateral, we can open up, same deal. Or we can close, so getting more medial. Same deal with the single, so we can move over. And all this other foot does is I'm using it as weight to push down. So when you look at why is he doing that, this right leg right now is adding a little bit more pressure in the down position to creating force down to add a little bit more, again, pressure from the foam roller going into the tissue. So just adding weight, that's all. Going outside. Good. Now some of you might do a really good job of, and maybe your calves aren't as sore as mine right now, and you got the strength, you can certainly lift your hips. So adding more weight not only just by pressing down, but you can add weights by balancing now on it. So you can see my hips are up. Same deal here. Now I'm double time. This is very intense. So back and forth. Good. So that opens up the posterior side. So now we're going to go anterior. So we're going to lay almost on our stomachs. Same deal. I like to start with both limbs to warm up, kind of, or cool down. So we're not going right after an isolated muscle right now. So we're doing both quads. And especially if you're new to this, it's really nice to kind of warm up the tissue, saying that, hey, we're about to break up some of these adhesions. And when I mean warm up, it's not like we're about to go exercise. It's more just, bringing some blood flow to that area, activating some of those proprioceptors by touch. And sensory receptors. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and isolate. So now we go left, so you can see if I'm on the right. This is what I'm doing. I'm isolating. So again, you can balance if you need to. You can balance. That's harder. Or you can start with just the knee down and bring it down. Like that. That's an easy way to do it. Same deal. I can add in rotation, so then I can rotate my body. So I'm getting more medial side. So adductor as well, a little bit. And then more lateral side. So now we're getting IT band outside the quad. Just like that. Again, I'm using my hands to kind of help support, so I'm not putting too much tension. Let's go to left. Same deal. Driving down, coming forward. And I come all the way up to that hip attachment, so not on the bone, right before the bone. And then when I come down, I'm going right before the patella, so right before the top of the patella. I don't want to go on my knee. We're not rolling a joint, okay? In the kneecap, we really are just going after the muscle. Same deal, I can roll. So now I'm getting a little bit more IT. And some of that medial. So not directly IT, but right there. And then roll this way. You go inside to the VMO. Perfect. Good. And so I'm going to go back to here. Back and forth. Awesome. Now this one is one of my favorites as I go to the shin. So I'm going to go right below the patella. Again, using my upper body to support myself. And I'm just going to kind of roll down onto the shins. Feels really good. So using my feet as support there, so it's not too much. Again, you got to have a lot of upper body strength to help you with this. So I wouldn't recommend this for your beginner. This is more an advanced move. Again, same deal. You can rotate the legs out. Get more outside, or rotate them in. Get more inside. last two are probably everybody's least favorite, and that's the IT band. So here we're gonna just lay on our side. It starts at the hip. So really what we're going down is we're coming here all the way down. So if I'm on here, I'm using my hand to help me. And basically, this leg in front. This leg stays straight from behind. And same deal, we can rotate the foot if we need to. But this one is giving me that support, but also the leverage to be able to push my body forward and come all the way back. And to put less on there, you can use a softer one, especially if you're very sensitive here. Or what you can do is use less on there and more on your hands. Good, so same deal, I'm rolling a little bit more forward, getting some of that quad, rolling it back, getting some of the hamstring. All the way up, all the way down. I do the other side, same deal. Again, that IT band. Make sure you're not just staying in the same plane, same tissue, move around. So go a little bit in front of the IT band, a little bit behind. So we talked about that, a little bit adding a little hamstring into this. All right, and the last one, this one's a little tricky. So this one we're going after the adductor. So it's really, you're gonna place just like this, and you're gonna foam roll back and forth. So the way I do that is I wanna make sure that it's perpendicular. I'm out, and you're kind of straddling, knees slightly bent, and all you're doing is going inside, right, all the way down towards the knee. Not on the knee, but just like that. So I like to kind of use my body and leverage and kind of roll onto it so it's not so much putting that much tension. Because again, this can be super sensitive, so you want to be all up and kind of balancing on it. You know, use your body just to kind of nice and easy roll back and forth. Just like that. And as you get better, then you can add in more of that. We'll try the other side. Same deal. Same deal. In and out. This one you can keep your legs straight, or sometimes I like to keep it bent. And show you here, straight or bent. This would be bent, and then this would be straight. Okay. All right, so hopefully you learned a little bit. Those are just some easy tips on how to utilize a foam roller to help kind of break up some of that tissue on your legs, both on the anterior side, which is the front, or the posterior side of the back. So if you have questions or comments, make sure you do those below. If you haven't liked this video and you say you enjoyed the content, go ahead and like it. Also, if you're not following us on Instagram, at StretchWorks, or Facebook, or you aren't a subscriber to this YouTube channel, we would certainly appreciate it. Again, more content to come, and we'll see you next time.